Hi there, welcome to Floating in Dreams. This is going to be my top 3 in every category, cheek edition. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. This video is going to be a quick overview of all of my favorite high-end and drugstore products in every single category. This time we're doing cheeks. I'm going to have 3 favorite high-end blushes, 3 favorite drugstore blushes, creams, powders, liquids. Everything is going to be here, so hopefully this gives you a good idea of what products I truly love and that are my all-time favorites, you could say. Before we get into the video, I would like to point out a couple of announcements. There will be links in the description box down below because I will not be inserting any swatches here because I have swatches with these up for all of these products anyway. And then you can also see what things actually look like on the skin. So I have all of that content up for you already, so I will just be linking you to those. And there will be some shopping links just in case you would like to purchase any of these and you will want to help out the channel because I could make a small commission if you do shop through those links. Where to start? Let's do blush first because I have a lot in that category. We're going to kick things off with the affordable powder blushes. And this was my most difficult category to put together in any of the videos that I'm filming for you today because I'm filming all of these videos back to back and I was rummaging through my collection, finding the top 3 favorites in every single category, and I was like, well, what are my favorite drugstore powder blushes? And then I just realized that with the recent boom in liquid and cream blushes, that is really where my focus has been. And the powder blushes have just sort of trickled into the back of my makeup collection. I was like, do I even have 3 favorite drugstore powder blushes? I was like, yes, you do. Yes, you do. And one of them I've mentioned so many times. It's still in my collection for that reason. But I just don't have that many drugstore powder blushes anymore, I noticed. I know, shocker. But this is by Kiko. Here's what the packaging looks like. We know I love this silver packaging from Kiko. And this is in the shade Fusion range that was discontinued years ago. This is in shade 05. And as you can see, it has 3 shades. And then I always swirl it together to create just one. This is really stunning. They still do shades like this that are really similar in the Unlimited blush range. That's the thing that replaced this years ago. I just hung on to the old thing I already have. This has a huge dip. I love this thing to pieces. A little goes a long way. And this range rivals some of my high-end blushes. And I still love it till this day. And I love it to pieces. And then I think both Essence and Catrice are great places to look for blushes. Catrice especially has been killing it in terms of blush lately. I have found so many good things in some of their recent ranges. The Air Blush Glow in, what's this called again? Berry Haze is currently in my Shop My Stash because I just love this thing so much. I've already used it again on my cheeks and I was like, wow, I remember why I like this so much. I had one in the matte version, but I didn't like it as much as I do this. It's not too glowy and shiny though. It definitely does have a bit of a sheen, but it's not like making you look like a disco ball or anything like that. And then finally, we have the Blush Crush from Essence. They do different renditions of this all the time. I think that's been their go-to name for a lot of their blushes in recent years. This with the yellow in the packaging means that it's removable. You can actually stick little pins in the back and the pen will pop out. So you could recycle this packaging if you want to. This is a really pretty and very unusual shade, especially for Essence. This is Lovely Lilac. And it's this really nice pinky purple blush, a little bit more cool toned. Great for the winter time for me. And Essence can do good blushes and they have been doing them for years. So those are some of my favorite affordable blushes in the powder category. But what about high end? And there are quite a few that I actually enjoy. And I think just because I have 3 of these by now, I have to mention this. This is the M Cosmetics Heaven's Glow Blush. This is in the shade Baroque. But I also have Magic Hour, which I love, and Venetian Rose. And this is just really stunning. This is a really good neutral blush on me. So pretty. Whatever I put this with, it always works. It has a gorgeous bit of shine when you apply this to the cheeks. It's not like enough shine that it could also be a highlighter though. So it really nicely bridges that gap between blush and highlighter, I feel. These could also be used as blush toppers though, but because I'm so fair, for me they are enough that I can use them by themselves. And this summer I went back to diffused heat from Hourglass. These are the ambient lighting blushes. I have 3 of these still. I have Mood Exposure till this day, and what's the other one that I still have? I used to have 4, and I think I decluttered Incandescent Electra, and I still have the other 3, and now I'm blanking on the 3rd one. Doesn't really matter. I have 3 of these. That's all that matters. And the Fused Heat is perfect for me in the summertime. I love the texture of these. I really love and like really adore my Hourglass powders. I just really, really do. I keep raving about them. I keep going back to them. Mood Exposure is like one of my favorite like neutral tone blushes, and Diffused Heat is for the days where I want a bit more color. And if I want to go super cool tone and I want to go high end, the Dior Backstage Blush in Rosy Glow. I had been eyeing this up for more than a decade when these came out as just a single pan, because this product has been in the Dior range since forever. Dior has had this really vibrant electric pink blush in their makeup range for as long as I can remember. It just used to come in a bigger compact with a blush brush besides it, and it just gave you so little product. And now that it just comes in the pan, it's still only 4.5 grams, but you don't get the superfluous packaging, which I think is just why I prefer it. And that's why I ended up buying it. And it's a product I have been eyeing up for such a long time. And it wasn't until it was released in this little small compact that I decided to bite the bullet and actually get my hands on it. And I've been loving it. There are so many brands though that do these hot pink blushes, so you definitely don't need this one. But I just knew this was going to work for my fair skin, and it has been a great one for me for sure. Then we have some cream blush as well, of course, because I just love them. And with creams, I have to say I do have more expensive taste. I love my Fenty Beauty one in the shade Strawberry Drip. That one I really enjoy. I love this. It's like a pinky coral sort of shade. I wear it in the summertime all the time. I go back to it every year, and I love it to pieces. A cooler toned option that I have enjoyed a lot is the Tower 28 in the shade Dream Hour. I used to have Happy Hour, or what was it called? I don't remember the name, but I used to have another one of these, and it was so similar to the Fenty Beauty that I didn't really add much to my collection. But since they did this like lavender pink sort of bluish cooler tone shade, I've liked this a lot more, and this is still a really beautiful cream formula as well. And I love my Rare Beauty in Nearly Rose. I know not everybody loves this, but for me, this is excellent, and I love this especially in the wintertime. And then for liquid blush, I have a couple of options, but one thing is actually the same product but a different price point. So I thought I could throw both of them in. The Rare Beauty liquid blushes. This is in the shade Encourage. I love this. It's like a warmer tone mauve though, and that's the only downside with Rare Beauty. Everything they do has a warm undertone. So if you have a cool undertone, Rare Beauty may not be the place for you. But I really love this, especially the dewy blushes are my favorite. The matte ones take hours to blend out. With these, a little goes a long way though. And we all know about my love for the Juicy Pang blushes. This is the one in Strawberry, and this is one of my favorites. You can't see it, I think, here. But whenever I take this out of the drawer, I can now see where it's been used. Like I can actually see the line going down every time I use it. This is my most used shade. They do warmer things in here. They also do cooler things. They do very light things. They do more vibrant things. This is a slightly sheer formula though. The Rare Beauty is like boom kapow pigment. This, I can go to town with this and it never looks crazy. It's a serum-like blush. It's really nicely glowy and dewy, but it doesn't sit on the skin weird either. And this is one of my favorites. And yes, it looks like a nail polish bottle because that's essentially what it is, but it makes it super easy to apply. So I really enjoyed the Juicy Pang blushes from Apieu. And then as I mentioned, there are 4 products here, but I'm kind of sneaking in both of these because I like them. The Glossier Cloud Paints, this is in the shade Wisp. Ever since they came out with these paler, cooler tone products, I like it even better. But a really good dupe is the MUA in Blushed. This is my favorite shade from that line. That is Dusty Rose. The formulas are the same. You don't need this. You could buy this and be just as happy. So it's either one. I think shade-wise, I like this better for the cooler tones and this more so for the neutral tones. The Glossier one, again, until they came out with Wisp and Soar, everything was very warm-toned. So glad they finally did this like lavendery pink thing. Next up are highlighters, and I have my favorite powder highlighters, both high-end and drugstore, and then I also have a cream and a liquid highlighter that I love. This is essentially, it's a cream, but I can just apply it with fingers, so it's fine. The Fenty Beauty Diamond Balm in How Many Carats has been my favorite. I love this, especially in the wintertime, around Christmas. There's just something about the sparkle in this product that makes it look really nice on the skin in low light situations. So that's when I prefer to wear this, and I want to go back to it again this winter. And I just think it's a really, really good product. But I also really enjoy the Kilowatt highlighters. This is why I want to try the Demi Glow, but when I was at Sephora in Paris, they didn't have them in that store. So Lightning, Dust, and Fire Crystal is what's going on here. You can see I have huge dents in both of them. I've hit a pinprick of a pan here. I've almost hit pan on the other side here. I just think this is a really stunning product. I love this to pieces. There's a reason why this has so many big dips. And then I was like, yeah, the Hourglass, the ambient strobe lighting powder in iridescent strobe light. Not everybody liked these, but you can actually see wear and tear on this with mine. Like, you can actually see that there's the beginning of a dip here, which with baked powders like this, it takes a long time before you can even see. But yeah, this thing has been with me for a while. I love this shade. Shade-wise, I feel the Kilowatt from Fenty and these are pretty much identical. And it's like my go-to shade for highlighter because it's like leaning toward champagne, but then it has a little bit of pink, make it look a bit more peach in the pan. But on the cheeks with my complexion, it just works. And I love both of them. And then again, something I hit pan on in the past year, I think the Kiko Milano Glow Fusion in the shade 1. Here again, just a pinprick of a pan. I'm not sure if you can see it right there. Maybe if I move my finger away, if the light catches it, you might be able to see it. But again, a huge dip in this. I've had this for years as well. I love this product to pieces. It's like a really nice soft focus highlighter, never too much and in your face. If you do want something a little bit more intense, then I really like the Kruidvat Lighten Up Diamond Glow highlighter. I think this thing is stunning. This is in Champagne Pelican. And this is from Kruidvat, which is from my local drugstore. Like, I can literally pick this up around the corner from my house. And it's excellent. This feels like the way it goes on feels like a high-end product, but this was under €5. And then in recent years, I think this came out last spring, if I'm not mistaken, but Catrice came out with the Space Glam highlighter. It's a multi-chrome, duochrome highlighter at a fraction of the price. So if you've been looking for something that shifts, then this is really nice. To me, it's like it shows up more pink purple on me than it does like gold or green. But I think that's why it works. It's great as an inner corner highlight as well. So if you want that one-stop shop to complete your entire makeup look, then the Space Glam from Catrice has been a great little release from them. And then we have a cream and a liquid, the Glossier Halo Scope in Quartz. I think mine is really close to being expired. If not being expired, it's starting to smell a little funky. But I've had this for a long time. This is one of the first ever Glossier products I ever bought. I go back to it every single year. A little goes a long way, and you get that effortless glass skin look that I just really prefer, so I like this a lot. And then I have this liquid highlighter from Kiko. This came out in a limited edition earlier in the year, the Stellar Love collection, but I believe they do this all the time. And it's essentially the Hourglass, but then in a liquid version. That's what I get from this. It's really pretty on. And now that I'm looking at everything I've selected, I'm like, where's my REM Beauty Living Luminizer. What did I do with that? That's still in the drawer, I think. I forgot to select it. I'm so sorry. I'm like, where did that go? But yeah, the RMS Beauty, I'll pop a picture up on the screen here. But the RMS Beauty Living Luminizer is another favorite of mine. I should have selected that. That also gives you that like glass lit from within sort of glow. And finally, we have our bronzers. So I have some stick bronzers here, and then I have compact bronzers in both, again, affordable and higher end options. And the same with the sticks. These full-size sticks, I have 2 of them. The Rare Beauty is one of my favorites. This is in the shade Power Boost, and I really love mine. It's a great shade for me, but it is quite warm, and I don't always want that. So what I've said is that you can actually pick up contour shades if you're very pale and cool toned. That will work for you as a bronzer. And for me, that's the Kiko Milano Sculpting Touch Creamy Stick Contour in shade 200. This is going to be a contour on warm-skinned people, but on my fair skin with a cool undertone, works wonders as a bronzer. And then I have these 2 baby things. These I've also compared in a short to show you how similar they actually are. We have the Milk Makeup in Baked, and this one, again, I traveled with this over the summertime, opened it up, and it smelled like Play-Doh. So this has sadly expired in my makeup collection. Yet again, this is the second time I've purchased it, and it expired on me. So I think I'm just going to keep this one in. The Baby Gut Bronze from Essence. It's even a better shade for me. So yeah, you don't have to always buy the more high-end thing, but the Milk Makeup one has been a long-standing favorite in my collection, and I feel that the Essence one offers something very similarly. And then for powder bronzers, I have my drugstore picks here. We all know, again, that shiny packaging the minute we see it is from Kiko. This is the Flawless Fusion Bronzer in shade 1. This seems to be a little bit hard to find nowadays. Like, sometimes I can link it, sometimes I can't. But this is stunning. It's a really nice, good neutral, and it's light enough for me to work in the winter time, which is a feat. And then I was so happy when earlier this year I was in London and spotted this. The Solar Power Bronzer from Soap & Glory. Love this thing to pieces. Used to own it in the past in the older version. They were calling this new, but I was like, nah, this you used to do in your older line. You've reformulated and you changed the embossing. That's pretty much it. This feels like shade-wise, I feel it's still very much the way I remember it being a couple of years ago when I still had the old version. I hit pan on it, but I hit pan on the light side and not the dark side. So as I kept using it, the dark side started to take over and the shade no longer worked for me as I was using more of the light side than I did of the dark side. So that's why I had to get rid of it. It was nowhere to be found. And then I was in London this year and it said new. And I was like, but that looks exactly like it could be the same product that they used to do, and it actually is. So I am very, very happy with having this back in my life because this is one of my favorite bronzers for such a long time and pretty affordable. It's like 14 pounds or so. And then another Kruidvat product, they do some really good complexion things. This is their Sunny Side Up bronzer in Natural Tan. And this is really pretty, very light. It is a little bit yellow leaning, but if I want to go for a warmer bronzer, that actually works for me. So this works really well, and I'm going to enjoy using this so much in the next couple of like winter season we're going into again. And then for the higher end version, one of these isn't really a powder, but it's in a compact, so that's why it goes in here. But it's by Makeup by Mario. This is the Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer in the shade Light. And I really love this thing. It's so, so pretty. It's really easy to apply with a brush, which is what I enjoy. And the shade of this is just excellent. Really, really good shade for me. And then we have the Christian Dior Forever Natural Bronze Bronzer in Tan Bronze. This is really nice because it has a bit of pink to it. Love it to pieces. This is one of the newish things that are in this roundup. I was doubting whether I should put my Becca in because that's currently in my Shop My Stash and that's what's on my face today. But my Becca one is no longer available. You can no longer buy it. So I was like, doesn't make a lot of sense. But I did hit pan on that one, which I was really proud of when that happened earlier in August. And then I have my Fenty Beauty bronzer, which is the next bronzer I actually want to hit pan on because not only do I like it, it's also really close. I'm not sure if you can see, but I've got a huge dip over on this side actually. So I think I'm really close. I can actually see some of the rings already that this pan has. Mine does get hard pan all the time over in this corner. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. So I'm scraping it off all the time. But I think this is a beautiful one. This is the Sunstalker bronzer from Fenty Beauty in the Sun. Again, a really good option for fair skin. And that, my dear friends, is the final product I wanted to show you in my cheek top 3 favorites in every category. Stay tuned because I have 2 more videos coming your way. Of course, we're gonna hit things off on a high note and we're gonna finish with the eye products, but I still wanna share my favorite lip products. And if you go back one video, you can see all of my favorite complexion, like base products. So foundations, concealers, that sort of thing. So I really hope you're having a good time with these top 3 favorites of mine. And then I hope to see you again in another video very soon. Bye-bye.